Hey, how's it going? My name is Ricky, and I got right here, right next to me, my volunteer Ali, and we're going to talk about the 40-yard dash. We're going to break it down step by step, starting with the stance and acceleration phase, and then we're going to go over the common mistakes that people can make, and then we're also going to go over some exercises to help enhance your performance with the 40-yard dash. So what I'm going to have Ali do first is I'm going to have her get into a stance however she wants, and then I'm going to break it down whether it's correct position or not. So looking at it first, her back foot right here is it's too far. What you want is you want your feet closer together for like a small stability. And that way you can drive and have more power coming out of your stance, because when your foot's back like that, there's no drive coming back. Ain't no power. Next, what I'm gonna have her do is bring her arm opposite from the foot that's in front, so this one right here. I'm gonna have her bring it back in 90-degree angle, and I'm also I'm gonna have her just slightly lean forward just a little bit more. That way, most of her weight is going to be on the balls of her feet leaning forward. And the reason we want that is so that when she comes out of her stance, she's going to come out nice and low. She's going to have like momentum going forward to start with it without even taking a step. Okay, another thing looking at her stance right here is we want her hips to come down just a little bit lower. That way we have a nice 90-degree angle here. It's coming from the pelvic to the knee, down to her ankle, nice 90-degree angle. Okay, so now that we got our stance situated, what I want Ali to do now is just to show me her get off, and then we'll break it down biomechanically on any mistakes that she makes. So in our acceleration phase, the prime movers, what they're going to be is our quads. They're going to do most of the work, and they're going to generate most of the power to get us out of our stance. In order to do this, the key is to stay low coming out of your stance, and you also want to take long strides. So looking at Ali's acceleration, some key things that I saw was when she came out of her break, she stood straight up instead of staying low to the ground, which is going to take away the power from the quads. It's going to force the hamstrings to do most of the work for the rest of the 40-yard dash, which we don't want them to start doing most of the work until later when we start actually doing our running form and we come out of the acceleration phase. So another thing that I saw was she took short steps, and the reason why you don't want to do short steps is it takes more work to get out of your stance, and it generates less power. And so what you want to do is you want to have more of a get off, generate more power and take long strides, so that way you're able to quickly perform the 40-yard dash and have a faster 40-yard time. So in the 40-yard dash, the major joints that we're going to be looking at are going to be the shoulder, hips, knees, and ankles. The plane of movement for all these joints in the 40-yard dash, they're all going to be sagittal, plane of motion. So looking at the shoulder joint first, they're going to alternate between flexion and extension. The muscles controlling this movement for flexion would be the coracobrachialis, and then for extension, it's going to be the triceps and posterior deltoid. For the hips, the action that they're going to be doing is they're going to alternate between flexion and extension. For flexion, the muscles controlling that action will be the sartorius, psoas major, and rectus femoris. And then for extension, it's going to be the gluteus maximus and biceps femoris. All right, so looking at the knee joint, the action that they're going to do is knee flexion and knee extension. And for the knee flexion, the muscles that are going to be controlling that action are the biceps femoris, vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, and vastus intermedialis. Knee extension is going to be, the muscles are going to be rectus femoris, semimembranosus, and semitendinosus. So for the ankle joint, that's going to be the last joint we look at, and the action that it's going to do is dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. For dorsiflexion, the muscles controlling are the tibialis anterior and the extensor digitorum longus. And for plantar flexion, some of the muscles are soleus, gastrocnemius, and tibialis posterior. Alright, so now we're going to have her do the acceleration phase again. And this time I want her to focus on staying low as long as possible instead of standing up, and take nice long strides and with a lot of power behind it. It was better than the first time. Alright, now some of the exercises that you can use to help with your performance in the 40-yard dash, it's going to be a lot of leg exercises. You can do resistance training such as squats. You can do leg curls. You can do leg extensions. These will help build your thigh muscles, your quadricep group, and your hamstring group. You can also do some plyometrics to help with your explosion within your legs, and then you can also do some lunges. Alright, that concludes our video. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Ricky Miller. I hope this video was helpful for you, and hopefully you learned some tips with your 40-yard dash.